I feel very awkward and I feel very and I feel like why y'all seeing my whole apartment? Can you tell I've been out of practice? Hello, Batwamudimu. Hello, Batwamudimu. Welcome to episode 1 of season 3 of Confessions of a Consecrated Cutie. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba. Yeah. Anyways, guys, long time no see. Long time no hear. But I'm back and hopefully I'm better. I am 25 this year, turning 26 in a few months. So I would assume that the last 2 years, I've been absent. I have been growing into myself. Okay, so today I'm shooting with my mic that I normally shoot for, street interviews, instead of the podcast mic because I'm waiting for the adapter, um, to connect to the phone because I have a new phone now. Slay. So I didn't want to not do the first episode because yesterday immediately when I got the phone I really just wanted to hit the ground running, because I am unemployed now. We'll get into that properly during this episode. So I just want to make the most out of this time between jobs to fully go into everything that I do. um with this new setup I do feel a little bit exposed. Oh, why y'all see my whole apartment? And I've only done one cushion cover. I made this myself, this one. And then there's still one cushion cover that's missing. Um if you're listening, I do prefer that you watch me, but it's fine. We're gonna have fun with this anyways. This is the first episode that I have up since we've rebranded to Helang Media, so I am a bit nervous. And also, obviously, since we've rebranded to Helang Media, the quality has definitely been up. It has definitely been on a move. So I am nervous to release this one, considering like my background. I had to move my dishes out of the frame. I had to move my dishes out of the frame. Would it have been easier to just wash the dishes? Yes, but I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl. So because I've been away for so long, I did write down some key things that I wanted to discuss in this episode. Also, something that I want to talk about is the fact that I asked my Instagram people, is there like specific things that you guys would want me to, talk about since it's been 2 years? And I want to say, wow, thanks for nothing. Thanks for nothing. This is why I'm the content producer between us, because y'all really gave me nothing. Like, not even a single response. 200, if not 300 people have watched my stories as I'm shooting this, and nobody had anything to say. So y'all are not real ones. Like, y'all are not real ones. Like, y'all act like y'all are real ones, but y'all are not real ones. And that's exactly what my old bosses did. And I don't want to compare you guys to them, but like, okay, some of the things that I want to discuss today. Where have I been in the past 2 years? I remember when I first did this episode, when I first stopped doing Confessions of a Consecrated Cutie. As I said, I never want this platform to be a space where I constantly repeat myself. So if I still have the same views on things, if I still believe the same things that I believed, if I still am the person that I am, I'm not gonna come back and shoot again, because I hate when podcasts get redundant. I do a lot of other content and TikTok. I took a lot on my Instagram stories. I took a lot sometimes. So it's really a whole thing of like I wanted to come on here when I have something new to add and when I have something different to add. I'm feeling a little bit awkward because now I can hear my neighbors outside. And that is awkward. Is it? Isn't that awkward? But anyways, I'm gonna continue like nothing. That's where I've been in the past 2 years. Also, there was an era of me. There was an era of me. Working 3 jobs. I was down. I was down. There was also an era of me. Balancing being at school at the same time as working. So that's good, I guess. Also, I was busy graduating. I finally graduated. Like, I know a lot of my content that did well on TikTok. I'm very grateful for this podcast actually, because this podcast is what like kicked off my TikTok career, if I'm really being honest. So shout out to this podcast. But I've been graduating. I finally graduated. I got a job and lost the job. Um, Essentially, I've just been that girl. I think it's just, let's focus on the future. Looking backwards is not going to help us with anything. I don't know where I've been, but what matters is I'm back. Cool. um Second thing that I want to talk about is friendship, something that I spoke about a lot in the podcast was friendship. So I thought that this is a good time to talk about it. In terms of my friendships, if I'm going to rate how I'm doing with my friendships and everything, 7 out of 10 in terms of how I'm showing up, 10 out of 10 in terms of the selection of friends. Like, wow, I'm so in love with my friends. My friends literally are the light of my world. If I talk about them, I do want to cry because I love them so so much. I love them so so much. I love them so so much. They are a group of people that like inspire me and stuff. How did I make friends? I think to make friends living in Joburg, as a 25-year-old now, but I don't think some of these friends I made them as 24, in my days of youth. I think it was a lot of opening yourself up and hoping for the best, a lot of shooting your shots, a lot of just let's hang out, and also a lot of intentionality. Like, you cannot be a good friend if you're not intentional. um Intentional to also hear their needs. In some friendships I have not been showing up the way. I think for me, in terms of distance, it's easier for me to show up the way I know how to show up when there isn't a huge distance between me and my friends. I think with my best friend, she lives quite far away from me. I think it's a lot of intentionality, which I do want to work more on. I don't even know actually what I'm doing in terms of friendship as well. Cool. The next thing that I want to talk about, since we're talking about relationships, romantic relationships. I think the last time I was here was I seeing someone. I think we were seeing each other. Like, I see him, he sees me. That is a long time ago. My word, that is really a long time ago. That is a long time ago, babe. Now the dating pool, we have a sassy men apocalypse. Like, to be quite honest, I have no interest in pursuing a man. I have no interest in pursuing a man. Like, we have this like, and I'm serious. The girlies, me. I'm not gonna speak on behalf of the girlies. Me, like, a man will show you like a teeny tiny 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 bit of interest, like teeny teeny tiny bit of interest, and then they'll expect you to take it from there. What are you talking about right now? Like, what are you seriously talking about right now? Anyways, they so that's not the type of girl I am. And after my last situation shindig, um after that I really decided that I just really want to be pursued. I really want to be intentionally pursued. I want you to like what, like, you want me to like you, like, want me to like you, like, want me to be the air that you breathe, like, do something, like get off the internet, like go clock in. So in terms of romantic relationships, we exactly where we left off. Single, not ready to mingle, not okay, single, not willing to mingle with what I've been offered. So career and the time that I've been away. I got a new job. I got a new job. I worked at the new job at the same time that I was working at um this marketing agency. So I was working at marketing agency as a part-time video editor, and then I got a full-time job. So I was working both the jobs at the same time. And then I got a client. So then I was working three of those things at the same time. So essentially I was working three jobs at the same time. Guys, suddenly they're outside. Guys, I promise you guys, before I started shooting, it was quiet in this whole complex. Suddenly you're shooting a podcast episode, people have so much to say. People have lives to live, people want to be outside. Anyways, so I had essentially three jobs and I was burning out. So I quit the one job. For context, the client that I was working with was also my boss at this job that I lost. So I left the agency just so that I can have more free time to do Helang Media and still have a full-time job. Don't regret that decision. I think it was the best decision for where my life was at the time. Cool. And then I get restructured out of my job. That in itself is a whole other traumatic story that I'll get into when I'm ready to get into it. There's some things that I need to do to just come to terms with everything and to get over it before I can start talking about it so publicly. That's if I decide to do that anyways. um so getting into financially, this episode is this episode cash money. This episode is kind of sad. Episode is kind of sad. It's almost like well, from where we left 2 years ago, life just went down. Life didn't go down, okay? It's just it's a redirection, okay? Finances. Speaking of that, finances. So I currently have one client. I do social media management for them. Isabelle, I'm getting there enough to sustain my life? No, it is not. My ideal wish, I still know my ideal wish is always the wish has always been, I do want to do Helang Media full time. That's always been a wish of mine. That's always been a dream of mine that will be achieved. I think I'm giving myself like this next month. I really want to go hard. Okay, I'm channeling Grace Mondlana's work ethic, and I'm going hard. Okay, I really do want to make a success out of Helang Media. But I am looking for other jobs. I've started a TikTok series called Friend and Fun Employment, where I share my experiences of my life since losing my job. Biggest takeaways, sharing some tips on, essentially how I managed to get different jobs I've had, essentially trying to show that I'm the best person for you because I could make a campaign out of losing a job. How can I not help you sell furniture, for example, or sell clothes? Mm, Clearly that girl. And clearly social media is my thing. That has been interesting. That has been fun. I think my favorite thing is when people recognize me from that. Um, yeah, but financially we are quite down. I did decide because the month they restructured me out of the job, I put it in air quotes if you're listening. The month they quote unquote restructured me out of my job, I had finally saved enough to buy a new phone. I had finally saved enough to buy a new phone. So instead of buying it cash like I intended on doing, um, thank God, like my mother really is my ride or die. So my mother, my credit score is non-existent because I believe in buying things cash. This couch, this TV, this fridge, microwave. I buy things cash. Okay. So I save and then I buy it and I save and until I can eventually have the space I'm looking for, eventually have the phone, for example. So I asked my mother to do the contract on my behalf and she paid for the contract, and um we used her credit score so that she can, so essentially the contract is in her name for this phone and the insurance, and then I send her monthly installments from that money that I had saved to buy a new phone, just so that I'm not losing a huge chunk of money when I don't have access to income right now. So essentially just trying to buy myself some time. I'm hoping that by the end of the third month I will have a new job. I'm applying like crazy. I'm doing like the whole friend and fun employment is really just a way of trying to get money. I'm trying to get hired. I really want to be top of mind whenever people see a job. So people send me posts, MVPs. People send me work posts. People send me work posts. People have been hitting me up if they want to work with anything regarding social media from the series that I've done. So I would say that finances were down, but we kind of know what we want to do with our careers. So slay. Relationship with God. Um, I think it's new, not new. My relationship with God has taken a new form. you know, I think in the same way, when you go through um, different stages when you grow, when you go through different situations, your relationship with maybe a friend can change, your relationship with maybe your partner can change, with maybe your mother can change. Like I will say, like for example, like me and my mother are really close now versus when we first started. I don't even know when we became close, to be quite real with you, but it happened. And here we are. And yesterday night, I almost cried thinking about how much I love my mother and I love her. And I was really overwhelmed because we had a girls' night and we had a girls' weekend. My little sister and my mother came and they slept over in the apartment, and we had a cutesy little girls' weekend. And literally yesterday, when I came back from church, I was so overwhelmed with gratitude of like God really chose me to have this woman in my life, and I'm so grateful for that. Back to the point, relationship with God. I think it's taken a new form. I think um there was a time where there was a time where I was trying to not imitate, but I was trying to go back to the way my relationship with God was, instead of focusing on just draw near to God and He draws near to you. Like, let's just let our relationship grow in the direction it grows. I don't know if I'm making sense, okay, but it's taken a new form, and the latter will be better. Like, I remember the first time I was having a back and forth about this. I journal, guys. You guys know I journal. I used to tell journals I'm a journal babe. So I journaled, and and literally, I don't know if you guys know the scripture of like the latter will be better than the former. So I'm really just taking on the whole thing of like the later relationship, the now relationship is better than the past, the later relationship is better than the past. And again, it goes back to that whole thing of like just intentionality. One thing that I do want to do, and I started to do it, and then I paused, and then I came back yesterday. I do want to share more of my experiences with God with people. Obviously, the things I'm comfortable sharing. I would do want to do more of that because I can't imagine my life, and I can't imagine going through all the things I've been going through um, without God. So it's very hard for me to imagine how people are navigating their lives without having Jesus. Like losing my job, more than just losing my job. I think I don't want to say it took away my dignity. I wouldn't say it took away my dignity, but it's the way everything happened. It was like there was no care for me as a human being. For me as a human being, there was no care for me as a human being, and getting treated like you're just an object, you're very easily replaceable. If I didn't know who Jesus says I am, if I wasn't intentionally building the relationships that I've built, intentional with the friendships who carried me through those feelings of, so you treat me like I'm just an object, I think I would have crumbled. I think I definitely would have crumbled. So God is very essential to me, um, dealing with everything in life, even the whole reality of finances after losing a job. It's because God has taken me out of situations like this before, that I know that there's no reason for me to worry, because He's taken me out of situations like this before. Why would I be worried now? So I think this is also that part of the latter is better than the former. Because the first time, like the first big major decision I had to make after accepting Jesus, was to drop out of engineering. And that was, I would say, the first time I said, you know what, I'm gonna trust God and I'm gonna do this decision that goes against the grain. And because now I have like a whole list of experiences where God has come through for me, I have no reason to worry. I have no reason to be afraid, because like I know He knows. Even touching back on career a little bit, I know deep down what I want to do. I want a full-time Helang Media, right? But also I need money. So I've been applying for jobs. And Mali, that's why I've gone quiet. But also I've been applying for jobs. So am I trusting for a job? Am I trusting God for a job? Am I don't even know what type of job I'm trying to get anymore. Like I don't know anymore. And it's like I thought by 25 I definitely have it figured out. But the thing that's comforting me is that I know that even if I don't have it figured out, God has it figured out. And He works all things together for the good of those who love Him and are called according to His purpose. So yeah. Final thing, we're talking about, are we back for good? We You listen, let's get through these 10 episodes of season 3, hopefully 10 episodes of season 3, and then we can see if we're really back for good, because I still share the same sentiments of, the minute I feel like I'm being redundant on this podcast and I'm repeating things that I've already said before, then I might not come back with season 4. But as it stands right now, we are back, so let's focus on these next 10 episodes. Still working on which day we're going to upload, but I think every Thursday for the next 10 Thursdays, I'll be posting Confessions of a Consecrated Cutie at 6 o'clock on YouTube. It should go up earlier on Spotify and the rest of the listening platforms. Yeah, so biggest takeaway from life in the past 2 years is to just trust God, because life comes at you fast, and the only person who knows what's up is God. So yeah. The other episodes will definitely be more curated. I think this one, I really am just ripping the band-aid off. We're just coming back. We're getting back in the swing of things. I feel awkward being in front of this camera. I feel awkward with the new setup. I feel awkward in my body. That's a story for another day. That's a story for another day. That's a story for another episode. But yeah, that's it's from me. I almost said that's it from me, your friend in fun employment, because that's my outro for my TikTok series. Yeah, guys, like watch, comment, like, subscribe, share with your friends. Harriet Zaga. I need the Zaga. I need that YouTube check, guys. I need that YouTube check. So y'all watch the ads, don't skip the ads. Like I'm a starving child in Africa. Okay, like literally after I bought the screen protector and the phone cover, and I have to pay the 250 um service fee, and I had to send my mother. I sent my mother the first 2 months installments of this phone, so I'm ahead. Um, you imagine, and no income. You imagine what I'm going through. Okay, so yeah, that's been it for me. I really hope that this episode was cute, as cute as me. I'm looking down because I feel awkward. Okay, I'm gonna go because I feel awkward now. Okay, stop. Bye.